Alright, today we're going to take a look at the Peekaboo style of boxing. Made famous by Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was taught by the inventor of that style, the Peekaboo style, Cus D'Amato in Catskill, New York. And then Cus passed it down to Teddy Atlas, who kind of ventured his own way, and down to Kevin Rooney, who ended up taking over when Cus died, training Mike Tyson. And those of you who know me, know my story, know that I lived in the early 90s in Kevin Rooney's house. I was a Kevin Rooney stable fighter with a bunch of guys, Hassan Rahman, Jeremy Williams, Vinny Pazienza, it goes on. But I was taught that Peekaboo style. So more than anybody, I know that style. So I want to break it down for you guys and show you exactly the nuts and bolts behind that style. So this is me in 1992, I believe, at the Catskill Boxing Club, Cus D'Amato Boxing Club in Catskill, New York. This was in the dog days when I was up there. I was only 15 or 16 at this time. And here is a clip of Tuesday night fights. There you see Kevin Rooney, and there's Terry Ray after one of his fights, and he's coming out of the ring, and look, there I am. This is on Tuesday night fights. This was at the Friar Tuck Inn, I believe, in Catskill, New York, or somewhere around there. So that was a crazy chapter of my life, but it really taught me through and through the Cus D'Amato style, or the Peekaboo style as you guys know it. Now, it's called Peekaboo because generally you're supposed to keep your gloves like this, and it's almost like your eyes are right over your fists, so you're going kind of peekaboo, peekaboo. I know that sounds corny, but that's why they call it Peekaboo. So first piece of the Peekaboo puzzle was the basic slip. Now this is generally used for slipping jabs and straight rights, straight punches only. It's a very simple but effective slip. So here's a clip of Kevin and Mike doing that basic slip. So let's check it out. There's Mike going forward, slip, slip, slip. Here's in slow motion, just left, right, simple waist movement as you're moving forward. See, that style was always a pressure style. So as you're taught to move, you also have to be always moving forward, always applying pressure, and your end goal is to be in the person's chest. All right, and now here is the integral part of learning and practicing that slip when you weren't either sparring or had somebody in front of you, but when you did it by yourself. It's called the slip bag. So let's check out the slip bag. Here's Mike on the slip bag. So a simple bag that goes back and forth, and you go side to side with it, throwing jabs, and also ducking and bending at the knees, as you see there. So that bag was something that you always practice. Generally, I would do it after sparring and working out. For some reason, that was just the way Kevin liked it. So that's the first piece of the puzzle, was slipping. Learning how to slip and really get that waist movement quick, and also extending all the way left, all the way right with that waist movement. Now here's a clip of Mike executing the slipping perfectly. Now I'm choosing this, there's a lot of clips of Mike sparring. I'm choosing this clip. This clip is from 1987, I believe. And Mike, as everybody knows, that as Mike left Kevin and progressed, he kind of abandoned the Cus D'Amato Peekaboo style little by little, and didn't use as much of its arsenal and of its tools. But this clip is prime Mike using that style to a T, and he looks really good. So let's start this clip, and you'll see Mike there. He's with a taller opponent as usual, and there you go. The opponent starts throwing those jabs, and Mike slips them beautifully. So now let's look at that again and see it in slow motion. All right, so there you see Mike slipping each punch, left, right, and making his opponent miss almost every jab perfectly, and probably frustrating the crap out of the opponent. So the second piece of the puzzle, and probably the most well-known part of the Peekaboo style, is bobbing and weaving. That's what Mike Tyson is known for, right? Bobbing and weaving is simple. It's just going in a half circle one way, then a half circle the other way. But as you do it, you have to bend your knees, keep your hands up, obviously the Peekaboo style, so at all times when you're doing any of these, your gloves are pasted to your cheekbone. That's what Kevin taught us and what Cus taught him. And you're also moving forward and constantly applying that pressure, moving forward as quickly as you can. So let's check out a clip here of Kevin and Mike doing a bobbing and weaving drill. Alright, so there you see Kevin throwing the hooks over him, Mike going under the hooks, and going forward, and at the very end springing to the side. Now I'm going to get to that real soon. But so the bobbing and weaving is one of the most well-known and important facets of the Peekaboo style. Okay, so here's a clip of Mike kind of doing a combination of slipping and bobbing and weaving all in one. So let's check it out. There's opponent, again tall, starts throwing hooks and straights, and there you see Mike uh, bobbing, weaving both. Let's check that out one more time. All right, and there it goes. Yeah, see, he's eluding the straights and the hooks beautifully. So that's a rare occasion, or not that rare, where Mike's actually eluding and using bobbing and weaving and slipping at the exact same time. Alright, this next patented Cus D'Amato move is called the spring. This is when you're in front of your opponent and you spring from one side or to the other side in one motion. So let me play this here so you guys get an idea exactly what I'm talking about. The spring is definitely probably the most important move, if not top one or two. Let's check it out. Here's a clip of Mike and Kevin doing pad work, and you'll see Mike spring. So here Mike throws a punch, boom, and springs to the right, and throws another punch. So let's do that again. Throws a punch, and then springs to the left. All right. Here's another one. Throws a shot, boom, springs to the left. Beautifully done. Here's one more. Mike throws a shot, springs to the left, throws a hook. One more with Kevin, throws two punches, springs to the left, and throws another punch. Very, very, very effective way to get yourself in position from one position to another in a split second. Also confuses the opponent because they don't expect anybody to do that, especially that quickly. Here's a clip of Mike doing it older, and this is from a few years ago, doing the same spring move. Let's check that out. Throws a punch, boom, springs to the left at the end of that combination. Here's another one. Throws a punch, boom, springs to the right, and then springs back. One more, throws a punch, boom, and springs to the right, finishing off the combination. So the springing is super important, and the way it's done is very similar to boxing footwork, right? So whichever direction that you want to spring, you take that foot, you pick it up, and you go this way, and then the other foot follows. So it's like boom, boom. But you do it quick, boom, boom. Same thing with the other direction. You want to go this way, boom, boom. Boom, boom. So you pick up your right foot, you drag it right, and then your left foot follows right. Pick up your left foot, drag it left, pick up your right foot, drag it left, and follow. So it's like a boom, boom, or a boom, boom. But you do it very explosive and you do it quickly. And that's the same law in footwork with boxing. You always, whichever direction you're going, you always want to pick up that foot first and go. And then bring your other foot to follow. You know, right foot goes right, then left foot follows. You can't go right over left because then you cross yourself over, then you could fall over, you lose balance. So that's really important. And you see Mike here, even in his 50s, man, he's looking real sharp. Still looking like old school Mike. Now let's check out a couple sparring clips of Mike actually using the springing in an actual fight to see exactly what that looks like. There's two different ways you can spring. Here's the first way. There, Mike is against the ropes. His opponent's leaning on him. He throws a combination. Boom. Then he springs to the side and gets out. Here's the second way. Mike throws a jab. Throws a jab. Ooh, okay, and there springs backwards at his opponents, create distance. There you go. Right. Last time, you saw the same thing. Mike sprung backwards to create distance and a different angle. So let's check that out again one more time. There Mike is chest to chest, and boom, he springs back to create room to throw that body shot and a head shot, and to create distance from himself. Beautifully done there by Mike. All right, so the last move, and maybe the most important, and definitely the most patented move of the Cus D'Amato Peekaboo Style is called the twist. Not the dance that Chubby Checker did, but the twist. Yeah, I just did a weird reference from the 50s. I don't know why. But anyway, this is when you take your body and just twist it all in one springing motion, and it leaves the fighter in a position to throw punches at completely different angles, just like that, and it leaves the opponent completely bewildered because the person they're just about to throw punches at is totally shifted to a totally different position and is completely out of range. Okay, so here, let's check it out. Here's Kevin and Mike. Boom. Okay, there it goes. So Kevin shows Mike how to do it, and now Mike's about to do it. Mike, boom, twists, and then throws an uppercut, and then moves. Here we go again. Oh, okay, Mike does another twist. And here's the last one. Boom, Mike twists, throws two punches, and bob and weaves himself. So that's it. That's important. So that shows Mike doing the twist and then the bobbing and weaving, incorporating two signature moves, which usually would leave his opponents on their back. All right, so now we're going to see Mike use the twist in actual sparring application, see how he does it when he's actually in the ring. So here we go. So there we go. Mike, boom, he twists out and is able to throw an uppercut. Here's another one. Throws a flurry, twists out, throws two more shots from different angles. Here he is again against the ropes, throws a couple shots, boom, twists out and able to land two punches, one that actually staggers the fighter. So let's look at that again in slow motion. So Mike's against the ropes, backs against the ropes, throws a body shot, throws a hook, right hook, then boom, spins out and is able to throw two shots. And that last shot right there is able to wobble his opponent because he had put himself in a totally different position, which not only surprised the opponent, but had Mike in a position to get more leverage and power in that same shot that he just threw, which, as you see, ends up in wobbling the opponent. Now I want to talk about a couple defensive moves that Mike did that actually weren't a part of Cus D'Amato's teachings. I was never taught that, never saw anybody else do it. Mike was one of the few guys, the only guy I ever saw do this. This first move I call the pogo stick, where he gets real low and almost bounces up and down from a very low angle. Let's check that out right now. All right, so there Mike's chest to chest, boom, there he starts going down, bouncing up and down, boom, almost like a pogo stick. Let's look at that again. So there you see Mike go up, down, up, down. Looks just like a pogo stick. Gets real low. Beautifully done. This next one's another example of kind of the pogo stick, but this is without as much movement, but when Mike gets really low and kind of just moves his head. Call it maybe the snake defense. He just kind of moves his head side to side in a real smooth snake pattern, but from very low. Being that Mike was so much shorter than almost all of his opponents, he was able to get super low, and it would just confuse the hell out of the opponents. They didn't know what to do, and they weren't used to reaching so low to hit their opponents. So let's check out that movement where Mike gets low. Here he is in front of the opponent, and there he goes. He gets real low. His knee almost touches the ground, and he jumps right back up. All right, so this next one is probably the most famous and vicious Mike Tyson / Cus D'Amato move in boxing. Very simple if you think about it, but nobody did it better than Mike Tyson, especially when you're taught to always counter. See, Cus D'Amato style, believe it or not, it was a countering style. You reacted to everything your opponent did to you first. You were taught to react first. Even though Tyson was very aggressive, believe it or not, he was very counterintuitive. I don't know if that's the right word, but he was always thinking of countering first. So this one is a very simple style of you move out of the way of your opponent's punch, come down at an angle, and then you're able to come up and counter. So let's check that out here as he does that in sparring. All right, so there he is. He's in front of his opponent. The opponent throws an uppercut. Tyson comes back and nails him, and then Tyson ducks under a hook and nails him again. So let's check that out again and see how it works in slow-mo. There's Mike, the straight right, and the uppercut's missed. Tyson comes over with an overhand right. And then his opponent throws another left hook, which Tyson ducks under and comes back up with a couple shots of his own. Again, simple. Make a miss, hit him right back. But the difference is you go low, you make a miss, and you come in at an angle. And you'll see that Tyson was always coming in at angles. So here's him and Kevin on the pads, and you'll see how Tyson, boom, and comes to an angle to the left and throws those shots. Again, let's look at that one more time and see how Tyson dips to the side, boom, and throws those shots from a nice angle. So the last thing, and maybe the most famous thing, definitely the most unique, is Cus D'Amato's number system for punches. So he would basically take every punch and he would assign a number to it. And there's only 8 major punches, right? Now, people can argue that you have different kinds of jabs, like an up jab, a step jab, but generally speaking, there's 8 different punches. And Cus took each punch and he numbered them. So, as you see here, number 1 was the left hook to the head. Number 2 was a straight right or the right hook to the head. 3 was left uppercut. 4 was right uppercut. 5 was left hook to the body. 6 was right hook to the body. 7 was the most important, the jab to the head. And 8 was the jab to the body. Now, when I was there in the early 90s, I didn't hear 8 being used much. It might actually have been a new addition. I'm not sure. And people ask, well, why do you need a number system? Well, anybody who's been in boxing gyms or watched boxing knows that a lot of times coaches yell out because there's only two people in the ring. So your coach can't be in the ring. He can't whisper. He has to tell you what to do. And sometimes they want to yell it out during the fight, not in the corner where nobody hears, but during the fight. And when they yell out, everybody's heard this. Somebody will scream, hit him with the left hook when he comes in. Double up on that left hook. Well, I always thought this too when I'm in there. I would hear the coaches yelling it, and I'm like, I hear you. I hear you. And I would literally know what's coming before it's coming, and it would be to my advantage having his coach yelling out to him what to do. So what Cus did, which was smart, was he just gave it secret numbers. So instead of yelling out, throw a left hook to the body, he would just yell, 4-5-7, 4-4-2, step to the side, throw a 2, and that would be a way of Morse coding it, so the opponents and the opposing coaches don't know what's happening. It was a genius system that to this day is still super famous and used. So that's the Cliff Notes quick version breakdown of the Cus D'Amato Peekaboo Style, which, as you guys all know, I was taught, lived it, trained it, breathed it, sweat it, blood, tears, all that for a few years when I was living up in Catskill with Kevin Rooney. It's a very unique style, and what I've learned, because a lot of us who went up there didn't stay using that style. Those of you who followed me know that I ended up adopting more of a Roy Jonesy kind of a boxer style. Hassan Rahman, for example, who was with me, he was just too big. He ended up being more of a boxer. Jeremy Williams, same thing, more of a puncher, boxer puncher. Even Vinny Pazienza didn't use it fully. That style is tailor-made for only a small chosen few. To be successful with that style, you have to be, I think, three things. One, you have to be relatively short for that weight class, because this style relies a lot on going low, moving a lot from down and then coming up. So it's a lot of explosions up. Pause. Second thing, besides being shorter, you have to be very fast with, not with only your hands, but more fast with your feet. This style relies heavily on footwork, as you guys saw. The spring, the twist, the slipping. It relies heavily on footwork, so you have to be fast with your feet, agilic. And the third thing you have to be is very aggressive. You have to be an aggressive guy, and that usually garners somebody having good stamina. Because when you're constantly going forward, attacking, it does drain more energy than normal boxing. Even like a James Toney or Floyd Mayweather, where they're always in the pocket, they're still not going forward. They're relaxed, they're there, and they're moving when they have to. They're conserving energy. This style, you're always moving your head, always moving your feet, always going forward. So it's draining. But for somebody like Mike Tyson, who happened to have unbelievable speed, unbelievable power, unbelievable aggression, fast feet, all that, it was perfect. So, I talked to David Tua recently. I thought he should have used it. I remember asking him why. He said, I think it never occurred to him. Who do you guys think, what fighters in history, past or present, would have benefited the most, like Mike Tyson did, from using the Cus D'Amato Peekaboo Style? Tell me in the comments.